Hi everyone, I'm just checking in because summer is in full swing and we are craving something sweet and sour and very lemony. So let's make some lemon bars with fresh milled flour together. Let's get to it. First thing I'm going to do is line my baking sheet with parchment paper and preheat my oven to 350 degrees. So that's ready to go. And then I'm going to weigh my wheat berries. We're going to be using soft white wheat today. And I'm going to mill a total of 420 grams. And we're going to divide that between the filling and the crust, but we're just going to make it so we only have to mill one time. Perfect. Take that over to my mill. Okay, and here's our lovely fresh milled soft white wheat flour. I'm just going to go ahead and use the same container for my butter. And I want 12 tablespoons of butter. This was softening, but I want it to actually be melted. Okay, and since we're only using part of our flour, the easiest way I'm going to find to do it is to weigh it. So what I'm going to do is just put my bowl, my mixing bowl, right on my scale here and zero that out. And then I want to do 330 grams of this flour and then save the rest for the filling. Which is going to be most of it. Oh, I got a little over. $332. I'm happy with that. So we're going to save this for the inside filling part, and this is going to be for the crust part. So I'm going to grab my mixer, and to this I'm going to add that melted butter. And we're going to just mix that around so it's combined. Just lightly combine, and then we're going to add the powdered sugar and the salt. I'm doing a half a teaspoon of salt and 2/3 cup of powdered sugar. And we'll probably use more of this powdered sugar to dust the top of it when it's finished. Alrighty, then we're just going to mix that around so it's incorporated. Okay, and it should just resemble basically gravel. I'm going to push this out of the way here for a moment. Come back to that. And grab my baking tray. And I can see that didn't get all the way incorporated, so I'm just going to scrape the sides and the bottom, make sure that it all got mixed in with the flour, sugar, salt. We obviously don't want it not mixed and incorporated all the way. Okay, you want it to coat all the flour and have no dry flour remaining. So now we're just going to pour this in. Okay, we're just going to press this in. Okay, this is gonna go in the oven now for 20 minutes. Or until it's a light golden color. Okay, I'm just gonna take this same bowl and just rinse it out quickly, because we're going to be putting the filling in here. And I'm gonna grab my mixer back again. We're gonna put 3 cups of sugar. 3. Okay, I'm going to use 3 lemons, and I'm just gonna rinse those and give those a little wash with some really warm water. And we want to add our lemon zest straight into the bowl here. So what I'm going to do is just zest this right in. We want to make sure we don't go all the way into the white. But this is going to kind of amp up our lemony flavor. Careful not to get your fingers zested in there. And we're looking for about a total of maybe 2 tablespoons to 3 tablespoons of the zest. I'm guessing it's going to be about 3 lemons or so. This one's kind of a little lemon. It's smelling very fresh and lemony. This varies on how you like your lemons. How much lemon do you like? Do you prefer the zest or do you prefer the juice? We're going to be putting both in this dessert. So that looks good to me. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just mix the lemon zest and the sugar together. We're essentially making lemon sugar. That smells so good, but you can see the lemony sugar bits in there, I hope. Okay, so to this I'm going to add that remaining flour that we had milled. And this will help thicken them up a bit. Mix that together. And I'm just going to use this same thing here to get our lemon juice. Just give it a quick rinse. And again with this, I'm just going to make sure that our sides and bottom are all, nothing sticking, scraping them down before we add in our wet ingredients. Just should look like lemon sand at this point. Okay, I'm gonna just pull this back a moment and get my cutting board. Try to grab all the seeds out. That's a lot of seeds for one little lemon, one little half a lemon. We're looking for about a cup of lemon juice. Now you want to use fresh lemon juice here. Don't skimp out on the juice because this is the flavor of our dessert. So we want to use real fresh lemon juice. But we're looking for about a cup of juice. I'm guessing it's going to be about 3 lemons, give or take. So that depends on the size of lemons and how juicy they are. So you may need more or less. And I've only got 1 lemon left. So if this isn't enough juice, then we're gonna just have to go with it. Trying to get away with not having to use all my lemons, but that's okay. I'll just have to grab some more. This one is very juicy, so I'm lucky in that sense. All right, last one. I'm getting close. Alrighty, that's close enough to a cup. I'm just gonna glance around for any seeds, which Okay, so I'm going to just run this through this little strainer before it goes into my mixture here so that I can catch any pulp or seeds. And there was just a couple. And now my crust is done for my lemon bars here. It's a light golden brown in a lot of the areas. So it's ready to be filled. I'm just going to set that to the side. And we want to work kind of fast because we want to pour this onto the warm crust. So let's mix this in. And we want to use 8 eggs. Eight. Make sure I got no shells in there. I'm going to wash my hands real quick. And we're going to mix that together till it's all combined. And I got to just make sure I scrape down my sides here, make sure all the eggs are broken. Just gonna set this back. Pull my tart dough back over here, and it is still pretty warm. And we're going to just pour this on top. Hopefully my pan's big enough. Barely. This. Okay. Get all the last bits out. All right, and then carefully, ooh, that's still hot. Then carefully, this is going to go in the oven for 25 minutes. And we wait. Okay, she's done. So this little bubble here is fun. But we also have just a little bit of browning on the edges. And you can see my parchment paper will pull away. So I know it's set. So I'm going to let this sit out for about an hour to cool down. And then I'm going to put it in the fridge. Okay, so it's been about a couple hours in the fridge now. So we're going to go ahead and pull it out of the refrigerator. It's much more stiff now than it was before, but it still has that nice, beautiful texture that you're looking for in a lemon bar. And a trick to cutting this is to keep wetting and kind of wiping off your knife. So if you use warm water on your knife, it helps to cut right through this without any issues. You want to make sure you cut through all the way down through the shortbread crust. So we just cut this into about 24 pieces. You can cut it any size that you want, but this is really rich, so you don't want them to be too big. And then we're going to just dust it with some powdered sugar. You can use whatever amount of powdered sugar that you want. You can skip it all together, but it does help to give that nice, pretty finish on the top. Then it's ready to eat, and you want to make sure to store this in the refrigerator. It'll last for about 5 to 7 days, and the flavor increases and gets even more intensified the next day. So if you want to make this the day before, that's what I would definitely recommend. And as you can see, these kept getting stolen before I could even finish.
They're like a perfect mixture of sour and sweet.
Thanks for hanging out with me today, making these lemon bars together. I hope you give them a try and let me know in the comments below how you like them. I will make sure to put a link to the printable recipe down in the description box below. That way you can print it off and have it for your records, and we can make it together. Don't forget to check out my blog at grainsandsmallplaces.net, where you can find this recipe and all kinds of other recipes all dedicated to fresh milled flour. I'll also make sure to pop a couple videos up here or somewhere. That way you can watch those until my next upload. So thank you for stopping by Grains in Small Places. Goodbye.